Let's talk about wars. So we got the U.S. economy, dot-com bust coming, the decline of the U.S. dollar, and a housing crisis that's been unfolding, and you've been nailing that. Now it's double where it was during the COVID era. That's only going to get worse. Now let's talk about these wars. It seems like things are getting much worse with Russia. We thought maybe we were moving towards peace there, but it seems to be spiraling out of control. And Russia has basically laid out its terms for peace, which is exactly the same position that they had back in 2022. Like, you're not joining NATO. You're not expanding further towards our doorstep. We are not going to have, these weapons supplied inside of Ukraine to be targeting our country. And you'll stop to carry out this genocide against ethnic Russians in what was Eastern Ukraine. So basically the same terms. It's exactly where we are, but now it's spiraling out of control. We have the rise of Germany sending additional weapons, wanting to militarize itself. So, I mean, are we heading towards World War III?
The cover of the Trends Journal magazine, and by the way, you go to what's that? The thing you have the link.
Yeah, we'll have a link in the description. So, and you guys have a special link because you guys publish the Trends Journal every week. So if you want to go to redacted.inc/trends, we'll have the link in our description. I think you guys have provided a link for 10% off for our audience. So sign up for it. We have a lot of our viewers that are Trends Journal subscribers. So we'll have a link in the description of this video for people to go there.
Which brings it, by the way, the grand total of $2.50 a week. Here, this is the cover. This is the front page of the New York Times business section, weekend edition. $6. Look at this stupid picture. No, once upon a time, there was print and stories, nothing. Journalism is totally dead. Yeah, nothing. Anyway, so we're giving the people everything we can to history before it happens, and going back to the Ukraine war and what you're talking about, the genocide that was being committed by Ukraine, bombing the people in the Donbas region, killing over 15,000 of them. The people have no clue about this. When I was a kid, they taught us to hate Russia. They had us hiding under a desk in case a nuclear bomb went off. As a little kid, I was scared to death every time I saw an airplane. Like hiding under a desk, by the way, that was going to save your life, right? Here,
right.
This is the Trends Journal magazine. When it was a quarterly, by the way, now it's a weekly, back in 2014. Look how happy that guy is, right? Here's the story. Washington is driving the world to the final war. World hegemony is not a right America has earned. This is by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan, wrote this article. I'm just going to read a short part of it. Washington concluded that Russia needed to be confronted with or distracted by problems that would leave Russian government less confident or able to counter Washington's aggression elsewhere. Ukraine presented the perfect opportunity for Washington to advance its hegemonic agenda. In a speech at the National Press Club last December, which was 2013, Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland boasted that Washington had invested $5 billion in non-governmental organizations in Ukraine to, quote, teach democracy. The United States overthrew the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in Ukraine in 2014. People have no idea about this. None at all. So going back, Germany is now escalating the war. There are $1 trillion. They're taking out $1 trillion to build up their military. Germany's the third largest economy in the world, largest in Europe. It's been in recession for 2 years and entering into recession. And you're borrowing $1 trillion? Oh, yeah, we're going to build the infrastructure up too so the tanks could go over the bridges. Wait a minute. You do it. Oh, one country after another. That little clown Carney boy up there, that jerk up there. You got rid of Trudeau up in Canada. Now you got another jerk up there. Carney, he's bragging. Carney's military spending, you ready? Will add up to $64 billion to the economy. One after another, and they're all using the line that it's going to build up their gross domestic product and their economy. No, it won't. Products that are made for military only enrich the military-industrial complex. And by the way, you read Mertz over there, Friedrich Mertz, the new chancellor, the former BlackRock guy, he keeps calling it money going into the military-industrial complex. He uses those words. GDPs grow when the products that are made are bought by consumers. That's what drives it up. This only goes into the pockets of the military-industrial complex. Oh, that President Dwight D. Eisenhower, five-star general, supreme commander of the Allied forces, and two-term president said, the military-industrial complex is robbing the nation of the genius of scientists, sweat of the laborers, and the future of the children. And now you got these clown boys with little peckers that couldn't fight their way out of a paper bag, sending the bullshit out that spending this money for the military is going to build our economy? Yeah, Heil Mertz. Oh, these are the Germans that killed over 25 million Russians in Operation Barbarossa in World War II. Oh, these are the Germans that, not me, the guy by the name of John F. Kennedy, it used to be a president giving a speech. Anybody look it up. American University, 1963, June. All about peace. He said, no nation suffered more during World War II than the people in the Soviet Union. They lost their farms, their factories, their homes, the equivalent of Chicago to the East Coast. He said over 20 million of them were killed. And now the numbers are over 25 million. Operation Barbarossa, launched by Hitler. And I got this little slime ball, Mertz. If we don't stop those Russians, they are going to take over Europe. Oh, yeah, I grew up during the Vietnam War. I heard that same crap, fat mouth. If we don't stop those Vietnamese, those commies, they're going to take over all of Asia, and those dominoes will keep falling, and they'll hit the shores of California. Oh, by the way, the same communist country, Vietnam, that's our second largest importer of clothing, shoes, and furniture. In other words, they could care less about it, who's running what, as long as they can make money.